This is QTV News broadcasting from the Gambia, and I am Mariatu Sidibe. Our top stories. We lived in tears for 22 years. Barrow's widows tells TRRC. Electricity access in Africa report launched. Jibakunda family asked to abandon land. Those are our top stories, and now the news in detail. The wives of November 11, 1994 incident victims Wednesday testified before Commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. Their testimonies were in relation to the November 11th incident, the impact it had on their families, and their alleged subsequent victimization. QTV's Ansumana Isonyase reports.
Widows of November 11, 1994 incident victims Wednesday testified at the ongoing Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission's ongoing public hearings. Sunkaru Yabo, Mariama Marong, Awanjai and Matisala, widows of late Lieutenants Basiru Barrow, Dotfal and Abdullah Bah fondly called a chopping, testified in relation to the November 11 incident, their husband's demise, the impact it had on their families, and their alleged subsequent victimization. First to testify were the widows of late Lieutenant Basiru Barrow, Sunkaru Yabo and Mariama Marong. The pair who testified simultaneously claimed they were married to the late lieutenant for 10 and 5 years respectively. During her testimony, Mariama Marong, who was Barrow's second wife, told the commission that in August 1994, her former husband had once complained to her about council members not keeping their promises. Meanwhile, his first wife told the commission that they were shocked and in disbelief when they heard the announcement over the radio that their husband was involved in a coup plot and had lost his life in the process.
So around
evening time, around 5, I decided to go out. I went up to the Westfield end just to find out what was going on. So when I got to Westfield, I saw people grouping together and listening to Focus on Africa. I stood there listening, and then I heard that Lieutenant Basiru Barrow was killed. At that spot, I bent down and I could not rise up again. There was this Renault 4 taxis that were around at the time. So the drivers noticed that somehow this is a relative of the individual being named, and that was how they got me into the car and took me away.
Further testifying, the witnesses accused that few days after their husband's death, they were subjected to threats and interrogations by soldiers and agents of the defunct National Intelligence Agency. They also bemoaned that the family faced numerous challenges, such as making ends meet and paying tuition fees for their children. Next to testify was Awanjai, widow of late Lieutenant Dotfal. During her testimony, she told the commission that her family faced many challenges following the November 11 incident. She said she was living at Fajara Barracks with her former husband and their 8-month-old baby at the time of the incident. Further testifying, she told the commission that she was told her husband was buried alive by council members and their outlays.
Did you subsequently hear about how he was killed or what happened to him?
Ndasi mujentel bi muje nga dega wala muje nga xam si anam bi nga xamante nun lañ ko reye won wala num deye won.
Wa ci lima dega moy.
Yes, according to what I heard.
Biñ ko reye deyut.
When they killed him, he did not die.
Dañ ko bolé ci mass grave.
So he was buried
alive.
Buried in a mass grave, and he was buried alive.
Nun la ko déggé.
That was how I heard.
Waye mako déggé tam.
But when I heard that,
metti won na ci man trop.
It was difficult for me, very hard, but because someone that is still alive.
Madam Jai, you can take your time.
The last witness to testify was Matisala, widow of late Lieutenant Abdullah Bah. In her testimony, she told the commission that her husband's demise had a serious impact on their family. She severally shed tears as she narrated how they inquired about his whereabouts many years to no avail. The witness also revealed that her in-laws died as a result of depression. Answana Sonyasi for QTV News.
Energy and Petroleum Minister Fafa Sanyang on Wednesday appeared before the National Assembly to respond to questions regarding mining activities at certain sites confirmed to have heavy minerals. Alusise reports.
Energy and Petroleum Minister Fafa Sanyang was asked by Honorable Halifa Sallah to furnish the assembly on the quantity of mineral deposits at Batokunko, Sanyang and Katong sites, where it has been confirmed by the executive that heavy minerals such as ilmenite, rutile and zircon have been found.
These heavy minerals deposits have been mined sporadically between 1950s until November 2016. The total reserves of the heavy minerals as at 2004 were estimated at 682,200 metric tons with a 3% cut-off grade. After several years of mining, the total remaining deposits in all three locations are estimated at 438,778 metric tons, yes. In October 2017, a mining license was granted to a Gambian registered mining company, GACH, that's Gambia Angola China Company. The agreed royalty was 60% to government and 40% to GACH, derived from the net profit of the mineral sale. GACH is, however, yet to start their mine operations as the company is still in the process of equipment and mobilization.
GACH, he told the deputies, has at the time of his appearance exported over 4,000 metric tons derived from a palm heavy mineral stockpile. VC added amounted to over $200,000 as payment to government as per its share of the profit generated.
Current one market price for HMC, that's heavy mineral concentrate, non-separated ore, is 150 per metric ton, based on ilmenite price, which forms more than 70% of the concentrate. Historically, the Gambia Minerals Limited, a subsidiary of British Titanium Company, mined a total of 60,000 metric tons between 1956 and 1959. Kanaji Minerals Gambia Limited from December 2005 to February 2008, 43,415 tons. Gamico Company Limited from April 2008 to August 2015, 189,982 tons. APAM Company Limited from August 2015 to November 2016, 5,649 tons.
Minister Sanyang explained the plans his ministry has regarding the exploration of natural resources, including minerals in URR, especially in locations earmarked by geology in Woolly East as potential sites since 1960s.
The last geological and mineral exploration program conducted by Geological Department was in 1992 to 1993, and it was a countrywide program including URR. The mineral resource identified in URR is in kaolitic clay deposit at Kundam and Fatoto, which has been estimated at 3 million tons. I am not aware of any mineralized areas in Woolly East of economic interest so far, but it's part of Geology Department work plan to carry out further geological investigation countrywide using state-of-the-art technologies.
Honorable Musa Amul Nyasi of Fonyi Councillor wanted to know what is hindering progress as per the MOU signed between the Ministry and Power Up, since the MOU was meant for NAWEC to purchase electricity from Biam Hospital.
NAWEC did receive a proposal from Power Up Gambia Limited in 2016. There was no agreement on the proposed feed-in tariff by Power Up, which NAWEC considered to be too high based on the prevailing tariff in the solar market. However, NAWEC has agreed to continue the negotiation on a tariff within an acceptable range, but they also consider the technical requirements and standards for connecting to the grid to avoid instability within the grid.
Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Land is one of the most valuable human assets used for both farming, resident and erection of other facilities such as schools, hospitals and businesses. Its ownership has ever been contentious, especially in an era where it's worth fortunes. The Jibakunda family of Jambanjeli has been asked to abandon a piece of land they claim to own by the Sheriff Department after a court order. Momodu Gajaga has more details.
Disbelief and anger gripped the Jiba family of Jambanjeli after the fence protecting the orchard they claim to own was allegedly demolished by one Lamin Bojang with the support of some police officers. A ruling by the district tribunal had already given a verdict that Lamin Bojang owns the land, a decision Michael Giba wants to contest. He explains how he acquired the land.
You never get papers for a farmland. It's your farm, you grow your coos, you grow your millet, you grow your groundnut. You don't get a paper for it. This was my customary land. This was where I grow my rice. And eventually I decided to fence it to keep animals from destroying my place. And in this very garden, I sunk a borehole and created 17 taps for the women of the village where they do their gardening.
Different types of trees are in this land, and it appears some were planted more than 2 decades ago. Cashew trees, gymliner, oak, and some other types of trees are in this place. Mr. Jiba showed us broken taps which he claimed were used by women to water their garden crops. He insisted that a judgment has not been passed by the court because he wasn't served with any notice, although the eviction order from the Sheriff's Department shows otherwise.
Never to my notice, because I never got any communique from Lamini, and nowhere am I served by an individual to say, this is coming from the Sheriff Division, this is coming from the High Court, that you have forfeited your land belongs, because there was no judgment. There was no judgment per se. We were still going to court at the tribunal, at the magistrate court in Brikama.
For how long?
This was since August. This was since September 2014, because I was dragged into court a month after when I was picked up. I was picked up here on the 6th of August and dragged into court around September when school resumed. Then I was vice principal Mendau Senior Secondary.
Kadi Sedi is an eyewitness to the demolition of the fence. I was washing my clothes. Suddenly, some people came and started pushing the fence. One of them was with a hammer. They demolished the fence with the supervision of some police officers. In fact, I told them to leave the part of the fence which covered my garden, but they went ahead and demolished that part too. We've all been benefiting from gardening on this land, she claimed. Although some documents appeared to show that Michael have been taking care of the land that he claims ownership of through inheritance from his father, he now has two options: either to appeal the court's decision at a higher court or continue living with the trauma of losing a plot of land that he claims to have worked so hard on. Land being so lucrative, it can bring conflict between families and communities. Communal tension between Gunjur and Berending has claimed the life of one person and left two others injured, according to reports. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
A report on electricity access in Africa was launched on Tuesday at the Petroleum House in Bijilo. Jena Basonko reports.
The report comprehensively analyzed critical issues of electricity access and its implications for economic development in sub-Saharan Africa. The report is a body of knowledge with vital information on electricity access, including great lessons from countries with success stories around the world. The Minister of Petroleum and Energy, Fafa Sanyang, said electricity or energy is utilized in every socio-economic activity of a society. Therefore, it has become one of the 8 strategic priorities of the Gambia's National Development Plan.
The report has focused on sub-Saharan Africa, which has the lowest rate of electrification and the lowest rate of electricity access among all the nations in the world. It is worthy to note that the report highlights pertinent issues of electricity access, its importance to economic progress, and explains how other countries successfully achieve universal access to electricity. These are useful tools the presentation will deliver in our hands as decision makers. Therefore, I would like to enjoin all of us to endeavor to read the report for better understanding of the issues in the report, so as to serve as a useful lesson for us as we continue our efforts to tackle the challenges of universal electrification in the Gambia.
Co-author of the report on electricity access in sub-Saharan Africa, Malcolm Cosgrave Davis, gave a presentation on the report.
The state of electrification in the region, right? There is a goal for all the African countries to achieve greater access, and in fact, universal access by 2030. And many countries are actually even more ambitious than that and would like to achieve this goal much earlier. And those ambitious countries include Gambia, where we are right now. But it's not only about access, counting the number of households who are connected. It's also about using it. And I believe we all understand that electricity is an input to production, and it takes other inputs to achieve the outcome that we are all after here. So get more people connected, more businesses connected, and able to consume at a meaningful level, and eventually reach universal access under those circumstances is what the objective is.
According to the report, part of the solutions to address the electricity access deficit in Africa is to prioritize reliability, coordinate with other sectors to take advantage of complementaries, amongst others. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jena Basanko.
Over $1.5 million was on Monday presented to Sukuta Upper Basic School by Sukuta Momaland Circle of Friends Association. The money will be used to kickstart the construction of a modern library at a tune of $3 million. In addition, items worth $100,000 were also presented to the school. Babukar Sise reports.
Momaland Circle of Friends Association, a non-profit organization, has been helping Sukuta Upper Basic School for the past 31 years. At the presentation, Holger Snyder, chairman of Sukuta Momaland Circle of Friends Association, highlighted the aim of the association and their efforts towards improving education.
We formed this cooperation and partnership in 1988 to support the school for better education. And we want that the students have a chance to stay here in their country, that they happen to leave the Gambia for economical reasons also, and to get a better education here. That was our main aim. When we started here in 1988, there was only 8 classrooms block, this building and behind. All the other buildings are supported by us or are built by us. So it has been more than 70 classrooms, workrooms, it has been the administrative block, a library, assembly hall, teaching room. We fenced all the school compound. So that is what we have done since 1988. That has been more than 120,000 euro for all this time. And our main aim now is to build a new library. And this has an amount of 30,000 euro this year. That means 1,680,000 for this year.
Dr. Hannah Steltoff-Fend, who says she joined the association mainly to sponsor the library, emphasized the importance of reading, especially books written by African writers.
In the last years, we bought many books, especially from African writers and from African publishers, because that's important. And for the library, then I come here to see it's a Gambian, it's an African library. Yeah, it's very important to have the world in the library, to read about Britain or US, but first of all, there should be Gambia and Africa. And that's my great project, to buy books about the Gambia.
The total budget for the library is estimated at $3 million. The principal of the school, Hadi Sosesedi, explains how the funding would be coordinated.
The total budget for the library is going to be $3 million plus. And our sponsors are going to contribute $2,700,000. And then the rest of the money, which is about $500,000, will be paid between the school from the SIG and MOPSI, that's the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. The school will pay $333,000 and some butoots or some dollars, and MOPSI will pay will contribute $166,000 plus some dollars, totaling to $500,000.
Other speakers include Mbai Jallo, former sponsored student, Sekou Fati, School Management Committee, and the head boy of the school, Mamadou S. Jallo, who delivered the vote of thanks. Babukar Sise, QTV News.
Learning from past mistakes, National Assembly members on Wednesday referred a bill entitled Maritime Zone Bill 2018 to the concerned parliamentary committee for scrutiny before any approval. The bill was laid by Energy Minister Fafa Sanyang. Alusise reports.
The bill entitled Maritime Zone Bill 2018 was tabled before deputies for consideration by Energy Minister Fafa Sanyang.
The Gambia is a coastal state bordered on the west by the Atlantic Ocean. Being a coastal state, the country has sovereign right to manage and exploit natural resources within the waters, seabed and subsurface offshore. In addition, the Gambia is a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, which was adopted in 1982 with a view to establish order in the world's oceans. The current legislation, the Territorial Sea and Contiguous Zone Act 1968, as amended by the Territorial Sea and Contiguous Zone Amendment Act 1969, precedes the UNCLOS, hence the need for its review to be in conformity with UNCLOS.
However, the MP for Upper Salem Alajimbo moved a motion for the bill to be referred to the relevant committee.
I have a motion, and the motion basically is to refer this bill to the relevant committee for the mere fact that we are repealing an act that we have not received yet. And I'm sure before you repeal anything, you must have known something about a particular act. So I don't think it's in the interest of this parliament to go ahead with this bill without actually seeing what we are repealing. For me personally, I don't know anything about the Territorial Sea and Continuous Zone Act of 1968. I have never seen it before. So I think my motion is to refer this particular motion to the relevant committee for scrutiny. Thank you.
The MP for Sadak Sanjal Usman Toure has a different view.
I'm not comfortable referring all these things to the relevant committees, which will prolong the procedures, because before we adjourn for this session and during committee exercise, a lot of committee works are pending. So when shall we consider all those things and come and table this again? What delays will it cause? So for me to consider this bill, I deem it necessary right now than referring it to a committee.
Nominated member Majanko Samusa said the move is meant to avoid recurrence of similar mistakes committed in the past. Honorable Sida Jata explains why certain motions should be committed to the parliamentary committees.
We commit motions to committees for purposes of effectiveness. This document is very small in your eyes, but is the most technical document that has ever come into this parliament. No one is here who can tell me anything about this document. And as the honorable member for Upper Salem said, this is meant to repeal another act. Do you have any knowledge about that act? No. Look, we are here to do things that have to meet the test of time. Once upon a time, two documents went through these chambers, an agreement and the other one was a bill. When we were arguing about the agreement, my colleague and myself said the agreement was a useless one. Even the papers could tell you that this is a false document. They ratified it. And later, the executive returned it to the parliament to say that it was useless. So it was an insult to parliament. We didn't do our work. The bill likewise, we said this is not necessary because there is something else that is existing that has to be seen first before you go into this new one. It was enacted, the executive brought it back again and said it was useless. Do you want us to do that again? I'm not going to be part of that.
Now it has been moved and seconded that the Maritime Zones Bill 2018 be referred to a committee. To the relevant committee, sorry. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. No. So it means the ayes have it.
Meanwhile, the MPs also voted to refer the framework agreement on the establishment of the International Solar Alliance to the same committee. It was also tabled by the Energy Minister Fafa Sanyang. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
Before we end this bulletin, a recap of our main stories. The wives of November 11, 1994 incident victims Wednesday testified before Commissioners of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. Their testimonies were in relation to the November 11th incident, the impact it had on their families, and their alleged subsequent victimization. Energy and Petroleum Minister Fafa Sanyang on Wednesday appeared before the National Assembly to respond to questions regarding mining activities at certain sites confirmed to have heavy minerals. Land is one of the most valuable human assets used for both farming, resident, and erection of other facilities such as schools, hospitals, and businesses. Its ownership has ever been contentious, especially in an era where it's worth fortunes. The Jibakunda family of Jambanjeli has been asked to abandon a piece of land they claim to own by the Sheriff Department after a court order. That's it for this edition of the news. Join us tomorrow for more news. Thank you for watching.